In this video, we'll talk about different financial products. Now, for RE5, it is not essential for you to know the ins and outs of every single product, but it is important for you to remember which products are financial products and which are not. So if you have your workbook guide or your RLP workshop guide, um, I need you to open up on the page where we have the financial products listed, the financial products that the representative might have to deal with. So we'll start with just looking at them. These are currently all of the products that have been classified as a financial product. And just a quick reminder that if we are not sure whether something is a financial product, we look at what it does. The rule basically is just that if something has an investment component or it has an insurance component, it's a financial product. If it has no investment component and no insurance component, it is not a financial product. Right. So we'll look at shares, debentures, bonds, money market instruments, warrants or certificates, derivatives, securities, participatory interest in collective investment schemes, long-term insurance, short-term insurance, pension fund benefits, friendly society benefits, foreign currency denominated investments, deposits, health services benefits, and crypto assets. I feel that most of us will be mostly just familiar with these two, maybe pension funds as well. But let's chat about the rest. So shares. In general conversation, I think we always say, oh, I should have bought shares in Coca-Cola 20 years ago, or I should have bought shares in this or that. So shares, according to FAIS, is shares or equity in any other than a share block company. A share block company is a private group investment arrangement. And our example here is buying shares in Discam or ShopRite, or We Buy Cars because they recently joined the JSE or the stock market. Okay, so shares, you purchase shares in a company or in an entity, and your shares can grow in value, they can decrease in value, and you would want to buy shares in a company that promises or shows promise of growth in the future for it to be a good investment. Debentures. So debentures, our phase definition is corporate bonds for funding purposes. So funding is normally when a company either needs to grow or needs to expand and they need funds for it and they don't really want to go and get a loan from a bank. So debentures, perfect example here. So it says here, King Price wants to raise capital to grow the company and start a whole new division of insurance. Instead of borrowing money from a bank at high interest to help them with this project, they get private investors to provide funding and pay them back the interest in regular intervals for a specific period. After the period, the investment amount is paid back to the investor, or they have the option to convert their initial investment to shares. Okay, example of debentures. Bonds. So bonds, very similar to debentures. It says the phase definition is it's used by private institutions and by governments. Bonds are formal versions of an IOU for funding purposes. So this one, very similar to our debentures, but here it is a form of debt. It's kind of a loan. It's not classified as a loan in terms of the National Credit Act, but it is kind of a loan. So our example here is King Price wants to grow their company and borrows money against an asset. This is a form of debt. Our money market instruments, the phase definition says this is an investment where you can access your money at any time. An example is an investment that earns interest and money can be withdrawn at any time without prior notice. So we don't have to keep our money in the specific investment product for a specific time before we can take it. We have access to our investment at any given time. There's no waiting period or a fixed term or something like that. Warrants and certificates. The phase definition says this is an instrument that gives the holder the right to acquire or dispose of shares or investments at a specific price or before a specific date. This is an interesting one. I think it might be one of my favorite ones. So our example here is quite interesting. It says Berkshire Hathaway, it's probably Berkshire, agreed to buy $5 billion of preferred stock from Bank of America during the financial crisis in 2011 at a time when the bank's future was in serious doubt. As part of the deal, Berkshire was given warrants to buy 700 million shares of the bank's common stock at a price of $7.14 a share. At the time, the bank shares were trading for $7 each, meaning that the warrants were essentially worthless at that time. However, in 2017, when the bank shares had more than tripled to $24 a share, Berkshire exercised his warrants, earning a $12 billion profit and becoming the bank's largest shareholder in the process. So they basically just said, if you give us this, or if you buy $5 billion worth of preferred stock from Bank of America, we will give you a warrant that you can buy our normal shares at $7.14 at any time in the future. And it's normally, they limit it normally to within the next 10 years or 20 years or whatever. And that's what they did. And at that time, it was kind of a risky deal because $7.14 was already more than the actual share price at that moment. But then when it grew, he cashed in. And when the share prices were actually $24, he only paid $7.14. So he had an instant growth on his investment at that point. Derivatives. Our FAIS definition is it's an investment product that relies on underlying investments for its value. So this is a very simple example. It can get a lot more complicated, but yeah, very plain, simple, straightforward. So if you own shares in the TFG Limited Group, this is the Foschini Group. Um, the Foschini Group relies on underlying investments. So they rely on Jet and American Swiss and Stearns and Coreycraft and Markham and Foschini to grow in value, to make money, so that TFG makes money. So we have underlying investments that we depend on for the value to grow. With securities, this is probably my least favorite product to explain. So FAIS just says the definition of securities, this is a fungible and tradable financial instrument used to raise capital in public and private markets. So basically here we're not really investing with money. We are investing with things that we can turn into money. The example here is providing ownership rights to holders or investments. So investors. So saying we need money. We don't really have much to offer, but we can give you something. We can give you ownership rights in our company. We can give you signatory rights, things like that. Okay, so we're not using money to make money. We are using things to make money. Participatory interest in collective investment schemes. Also an interesting one, and it sounds more complicated than it has to. The definition is also more complicated than it has to be. It says this is a form of collective investment constituted under a trust deed. A unit trust pools investors' money into a single fund, which is managed by a fund manager. The example here says when you invest your money in a collective investment scheme portfolio, you buy a portion of the participatory interest in the total collective investment scheme portfolio. In my mind, I see this as basically buying timeshare in your investment portfolio. Okay, so all of the money gets pooled together into one fund, and everyone has a certain part to that fund or a certain interest in it. Long-term insurance, very ironic that this is normally an insurance product that pays out when you die, and we have skydivers on here. Probably a bit inappropriate, but you'll remember this one. It says the FAIS definition is it's a range of insurance products that provide you with either a source of income in the future or a lump sum of money should you become disabled or pass away. Example, life cover, credit life cover, or disability covers, things like that. With short-term insurance, I think this is the one that we're probably most exposed to. The FAIS definition says these are policies that are valid for a limited time period and covers areas like car insurance, business insurance, home contents, travel insurance, and pet insurance. Plain and simple example, motor vehicle insurance for accidental damage. Pension fund benefit. Our lady here has gray hair for a reason. This is a fund that the investor will benefit from at the time of retirement. So our examples are any pension funds, provident funds as you know them at work, retirement annuities, things like that. Also not something that is too complicated. I think most of us would be fine with pension funds. A friendly society benefit. Okay, so this girl, she's crying. The reason why she's crying is she was part of a stokvel where she and her friends each put in 500 Rand a month, and when it was her time to get the payout, they said, sorry, we're not going to pay out your funds because the money has been used for a medical emergency or whatever. And now she's crying because all her money is gone. So to prevent things like that from happening, The FAIS legislation has now, not now, it's been like that for quite some time, regulated stokvels, and they call them friendly society benefits. So this is the formal or regulated version of a stokvel. Our example here is three friends want to start a stokvel. They go to Nedbank and open up a stokvel fund or account where contributions are paid into and shared amongst them at the payout date. So basically, Nedbank is managing their stokvel on their behalf, and this way we know that everyone is going to get their share of what they've put in. Then a foreign currency denominated investment. Basically, it's just investing in foreign currency, so buying foreign currency as an investment, and that's why we have the dollars here. There are terms and conditions that apply here. We do have limits. If I'm not mistaken, the limit is 11 million for the individual investor per annum. Okay. Deposits. So the FAIS definition says, they just give us examples actually. It says fixed deposit accounts or not of, or savings accounts. So there's no actual definition. It's just telling us a fixed deposit account, so 32-day notice, 60-day notice, 12-month notice. Well, I don't think there's a 12-month notice, but a fixed deposit account or savings accounts that you have with your bank, those are regarded as deposits in terms of financial products. A health service benefit, that is a product that provides medical aid benefits. For example, any medical aid product from Discovery or from Bonitas or MediHelp. And then cryptocurrencies, those are our virtual currencies. So it's not linked to a specific country, it's not used in a specific country. Anyone, everyone from all over the world can access it and can use it and can trade with it when it is accepted. And our examples there we have Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right, those are our financial products.